fatigue, or gas. What will today's symptom be? My loopy life with lupus. Hi guys. So I'm here to do a quick little lupus update kind of video. I haven't done a Loopy Life with Lupus segment in a long time. I actually had planned to completely retire that segment. Let me just sit here where I'm more comfortable. I had planned to completely retire that segment because I just felt like most of the time anything health related would somehow work its way in with like any vlogging that I do. So I was just gonna combine them into vlogging, and my plan is actually to come up with a new vlogging segment. It's not gonna be called In My Shoes anymore. I'm not really a fan of that title. I think I'm just gonna I don't even know if I'll give it a title, to be honest. I'll just say vlog or whatever. Or maybe it'll just be Life with Krystle. I don't know. But, you know, my plan was to just combine those two into a vlog. But I just kind of figured, like, sometimes I could probably still do a Loopy Life with Lupus episode, because if I'm not vlogging, but there's something health-wise that I want to talk about, and that's all that video is going to be about is lupus-related things, I might as well just do an episode. So I'll probably still do some here and there, but most of my health stuff will now be like linked together with my vlogging if I do a vlog of the day or whatever. Anyways, so I just wanted to like clarify, especially for any newcomers, because I know I've been getting a lot of new subscribers lately and they don't really know like the whole backstory and everything. And so they've seen like my vlog where I'm talking about how on Thursday they like are, you know, close to confirming my diagnosis and everything like that. But I think a lot of people thought that that meant I've been undiagnosed for like all this time and that I didn't really know that I had lupus. So I just kind of wanted to explain what that was all about. So when I started getting sick, it was right after my honeymoon, and I just gradually was getting worse by the day. I was in so much pain, I could barely move, I could barely walk. Alex was having to lift me off the couch and help me to bed each night. He was having to help me off the toilet because I literally, like, once I sat down, I couldn't get back up. It was that bad, and I was going from doctor to doctor, and no one really knew what the heck was going on. They just assumed that it was my arthritis that I had as a teenager returning. It was juvenile arthritis that I had, but they didn't really know. And then anyways, I finally got into a general internist who then sent me to a new rheumatologist. And this new rheumatologist was the one that finally diagnosed me as having lupus, which was in April of 2010. So I was given the diagnosis of lupus at that time. So we were like, okay, I have lupus. And, you know, I went through all the stuff that you go through when you're diagnosed with a disease, all the stages of grief and everything. And, you know, it took me a good year or two to get out of that funk from all of that and start to be, you know, more like how I am now, positive thinking and stuff like that. But it was a struggle to get to that point. But anyways, I think I was with my rheumatologist for about 2 years, I guess. And, you know, during that time, she sent me to various specialists for different things that came up. One of them was that when I was diagnosed, I was having kidney issues. They were finding blood in my urine and protein in my urine. So something was off with my kidneys. And that was one of the things that helped them diagnose me as having lupus. And so I was on some medications for a while, seeing a kidney specialist. But thankfully, the drugs really just kicked in fast and cleared up the problem fast. And so they never, they were considering doing a biopsy, but they felt like it wasn't urgent enough to do one because they felt like it was very minor and it cleared up quick. And I eventually got off of that medication and things remained fine with my kidneys. So, fast forward, like I was with my rheumatologist maybe 2 to 3 years at the most. I'm thinking more like 2. And my rheumatologist had to move. She was moving to another clinic that was way outside of Toronto. And there was no way I could get to her new clinic to see her. So I was referred to a different rheumatologist within her clinic at the hospital. I did not like this new rheumatologist. She was very cold towards me a lot of the times. And most of the times she wasn't listening to me. What I was trying to tell her was ailing me at that time. Like, she was trying to get me off of medications that was helping the ailments that I had, and I'm like, but I'm feeling this, so shouldn't I be staying on this drug? And she just wasn't listening to me, and I felt like I was not getting anywhere. And so Alex has a coworker, and her daughter has lupus. And she was telling Alex that her daughter goes to the lupus clinic at Toronto Western and that they're phenomenal and they've helped her daughter a lot and that I should look into going there. So I got a referral to the lupus clinic, and at first I was seeing both the new rheumatologist plus the rheumatologist at the lupus clinic, and it was like we were alternating. So I would see the new rheumatologist, and then 3 months later I would see the lupus clinic, and then 3 months later I'd go to the other rheumatologist. And so we did that for, I think, like about a year maybe, back and forth, and I was trying to weigh out which one I felt was better for me. And I was leaning more towards the lupus clinic because I just felt like they listened to me more and were more in tune with what I needed. They weren't against the drugs that I was on, whereas the other rheumatologist was trying to take me off of some of them, but they felt that I still needed them. And then the final straw was when we came back, when my mom and I came back from the Down East Doll Show in 2013 and our safari trip to the Myrtle Beach Safari. When we came back from that, I was home maybe about a week, and I started to get these really bad chest pains after work one day, and they kept getting worse and worse, and bending over or laying down was making them worse. And it was really, really bad. And it would like shoot up here to my throat when I would try to breathe or take deep breaths or whatever. And so when Alex got home from work that day, he's like, we're going to go to the ER. So we went, and I was there all night. And throughout the night, with all different tests that they did and stuff, they discovered that I had pericarditis, which is fluid around the heart, which is something that happens commonly in people with lupus. So they diagnosed me as having that. They figured it was caused by the lupus. They gave me medication. It was, I think, anti-inflammatory plus a high dose steroid for like a week. And it cleared up really quick. It really did. But I went to Sunnybrook Hospital's ER for that, because that's where the rheumatologist, like not the lupus clinic rheumatologist, but the other rheumatologist I had been seeing, that's where she was located. And I don't think I went home until like about noon the next day. I was there all night until like the afternoon. And they were saying, oh, you know, we've notified your rheumatologist, because she's in the same hospital. and they're saying she might come and see you. We don't know. She never came to see me. And that was the straw right there. I was like, that's it. I'm done with her, and I'm sticking with the lupus clinic, because she didn't even come to check on me to see what was going on about linking it to lupus. Nothing. Nothing at all was said or done. And so I thought I had them forward the report to the lupus clinic as well. But from what I gathered last week's appointment, I don't think they received it, because they were telling me that I had suspected pericarditis, and I said no. They told me I had pericarditis. So anyways, the fact of the matter is that this whole time that I've been going to the lupus clinic, they have been on the fence as to whether I have lupus or not. They've been questioning that diagnosis. So I knew all along that I had lupus, but I figured, you know, they're a lupus clinic. They know what they're doing. They'll figure it out. But it was a little irritating. Every time I went, they were like, well, we're still questioning whether it's lupus or not. And it's like, you know, they just kept telling me that you're not meeting enough of the criteria. You're only meeting like 3 of the criteria, and you need 4 or more. And yet I would go home and read what the criteria is, and I could match myself up to like 6 or 7 criteria. And I'm like, what is going on? So it's been frustrating. But now they're finally getting it. They're finally at the point where they're like, we can probably confirm this. And lo and behold, it really only had to do with 2 things. It was the fact that they had written in their report, I had suspected pericarditis, probably because I had just told them about the incident, thinking that they had the paperwork that had been forwarded to them, but I guess in reality they never did get that report. So I told them that, and that they were like, oh, okay, because, you know, pericarditis can happen in lupus. And so that was that. So that was cleared up. And then obviously, by the sounds of it, they never had the proper reports from my kidney specialist either, where I thought they did. Like, I thought that that other crappy rheumatologist that I was seeing was sending everything over to the lupus clinic as well. But apparently not. Apparently they never received, they have nothing in their folder for me that's from my kidney specialist. So because of that, they knew from the test results, whatever test results they received, they could see that there had been protein and blood in my urine and stuff like that. So they knew there was something with the kidneys, but they didn't know if they could officially link that to being lupus, because they didn't know any more than the urine sample test, basically. They had nothing in writing from my kidney specialist. So once they mentioned, like, did your kidney specialist say anything about it being nephritis? I'm like, yes, she used that word a lot. And he knows this doctor. He knows she's good. And so he said, well, if she said it was nephritis, meaning lupus nephritis, which is when lupus attacks the kidneys. If she said it was lupus nephritis, then that's what it is. So what it boils down to, we pretty much know they're confirming that I have lupus, but they just need that piece of paper. They just need that paperwork from the kidney specialist that says on it lupus nephritis, and then they'll have all the documentation that they need to finally confirm what we knew all along. You know, I was already diagnosed with it, but they were questioning that. So yeah, so basically I've been diagnosed with lupus again. But it is good to finally have the confirmation and know that now they know exactly what they're dealing with. And so, you know, my doctor there at the lupus clinic, he said we definitely have to keep a close watch on you, because he can see from my history how quickly things can arise and change for me. Like that pericarditis, that came on so fast. I was feeling 100% normal that morning, and just about a half hour before I was getting ready to like leave work for the day, I started getting a little bit of a chest pain. I didn't think anything of it at first because sometimes I do get that related to my heart, my extra heartbeats, or my like mild asthma. So at first I didn't think anything of it, but then when it started to take on a different feel and it continued on for like hours, and it got to the point where bending over made it sear and laying down made it sear, I was like, okay, this is not normal. This is not what I usually experience. And so it just came on like so quick. Like I was fine 1 minute and the next minute I was having these chest pains. So they know that I can get things like changing really fast. So they said that they have to keep a close eye on me. I'll definitely have to keep going to see them every 3 months and just stay on top of things. So one thing I'm wondering now is, since they now know for certain that I have lupus, I'm wondering if that might open up the possibility of me going on the drug Benlysta. Because Benlysta is a drug that came out a few years ago, and it's the first ever drug that is specifically for people with lupus. It is the first drug that they've ever come out with just for lupus. And so, you know, when we were trying all these different treatments and I was still in a lot of pain and having joint swelling and all this stuff, you know, they jumped to, you know, putting me on methotrexate, which is a cancer drug. And the reason they give you that is to suppress the immune system, because your immune system is what is attacking all the healthy tissues in your body. It gets confused, and so instead of attacking, you know, when you have a cold or a flu, it just attacks your joints, your skin, your heart, your lungs. I mean, anything in your body, it'll just attack it for no reason. And so they have to give you drugs that suppresses the immune system to try and get it to stop attacking. And so that's why I'm on methotrexate, which is a form of chemotherapy. But I don't think they really call it chemotherapy when they're using it to treat things like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, because it's such a low dose. But it is a chemo drug. It is. They use it in cancer treatments at higher doses, obviously, for cancer. But yeah, I'm just wondering if now, you know, if like, I don't know if you can take Benlysta during pregnancy, because I can't get pregnant while taking methotrexate. And if I ever wanted to try, I'm afraid of coming off of it because it's helped me so much. But I've heard really good things about this Benlysta, but the Benlysta is very, very expensive. We would have to make sure that our insurance would cover that by at least 80%. And if they did, they do have a program here that can cover the remainder for you, called the butterfly program, because the lupus symbol is a butterfly, because we get the butterfly rash on our face. But it's an infusion. I believe you go monthly. So it is given by IV infusion. But I've heard that it's really done wonders for a lot of people. So I'm just wondering if that will become an available option to me now. Like, maybe they weren't considering it before just because I didn't have, in their eyes, I wasn't confirmed as having lupus. So maybe now that I do, I'll be, you know, it'll open me up to new options for treatment, hopefully, that we can try, and we'll see. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't think there's really anything else to update you guys on, but I just thought I would give that little explanation just to re-explain it, just for anyone who's new and didn't really know what I was talking about. So yeah, that's what lupus is. Lupus is an autoimmune disease, meaning basically your immune system is confused and it just starts to attack healthy tissue and healthy organs in your body. It just decides to attack whenever it wants to. It can attack anything. So obviously we know mine's, I guess, attacked the heart for the pericarditis thing. It's attacked my kidneys, obviously we know that. I do believe it attacked my GI tract because I had colitis for a while, which they couldn't link to anything. They just said it was autoimmune. Yeah, and so it's attacked my GI tract. Thankfully that's cleared up though. And definitely the number one thing that it attacks on me is my joints. And that's why I'm often in pain, or when it gets really bad, I'll get really bad swelling in my fingers and my knees. So yeah, and I guess it's attacked my skin in the past. We're probably thinking that my first lupus flare was in 2002 because I had these hives covering my body. I mean, literally covering my body. And they were there 24/7. They never went away. They burned. They itched. It was like the worst year of my life. It was brutal. Just constant itching, constant burning. Nothing was relieving them. We were trying medication after medication. I had allergy testing that all came back normal, and we just could not figure out what was causing them. And then it was just I think it was a dermatologist that got me on a mix, some kind of a cocktail of medications that eventually got rid of them. But we still, to this day, like, we didn't know what had caused them. But now I'm thinking it was probably lupus. It was probably a lupus thing. I've read that lupus can do that. Like, it can do the hives and all that stuff. Can cause crazy rashes that are unexplainable. So it was probably that. I get ulcers on my tongue a lot. Pretty much like every few days, new ones come up as the old ones disappear. They're not painful, thankfully, but they just look really ugly. So that's been going on for about 3 years now. But I guess since they aren't causing me discomfort, they haven't really done anything to try and get rid of them. And then I also have hypothyroidism, and I also have an irregular heartbeat. I have extra heartbeats called PVCs. And I have had 2 ablations done over the years, which is where they go in and try to zap what's causing the extra heartbeats so that the extra heartbeats stop. Both procedures were unsuccessful. So they feel like it needs to, like, if we try it one more time, they might be able to get it because they think it's on the other side of the heart. Whereas the last procedure they did the opposite side of the heart. I think they did the right side of the heart the last time, but now they're thinking they need to go to the left. But they were saying that there's only one more shot. Like, we can only try it one more time. And if it doesn't work, then that's it. So I don't even know if I want to go through it again. It's quite the procedure. And I actually have a vlog that I did about it that I'll link below with my last heart procedure. It's just a long day, and I just don't like it. So, I mean, if I can avoid it at all costs, I will. I mean, my heart condition is well monitored. And the medications I take for it pretty much keep it under control. It's not a nuisance to me anymore. It doesn't really bother me. I don't really feel it half the time. So the only reason to try doing the procedure again, to try to get rid of the extra heartbeats, is just basically so that I don't have to take the medication anymore. But it's not a big deal if I have to take the medication for the rest of my life, as long as it controls it good. I just don't know if it's worth going into the procedure one more time, because I don't like the procedure. You have to be awake for it. And I mean, this time it wasn't as bad as the first time I had it done, but it's still, after you have it done, you have to lay on your back and not move your leg for like 6 hours or something like that. It's a long time to just be laying there flat on your back and you're not allowed to move. It's really annoying, especially if you have to go pee, which is what happened the last time. And I was like, oh my God, I can't. Like, I mean, they can bring you a bedpan, but who the heck wants to do that? It was not fun. I tried it. It was not fun. So anyways, I'm just going to wrap up this video now. And I just thought I would give newcomers that little update. So if they were interested in hearing a little bit about what's going on and get you up to date, there you go. And yeah, I'm doing a lot better though. Like, we've known I've had lupus all this time anyways, so whatever. I wasn't surprised that I'm just glad that they're finally confirming it now that I think about it, because it can open up more treatment options for me, I'm sure. So I think it's a good thing. So all right, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And before I go, I'll show you my comfy clothes of the day, actually pajamas of the day. I'm wearing my purple pajama shirt, and I'm wearing my plaid purple pajama bottoms with my little fuzzy purple socks. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Don't let everything that you read and hear and see about lupus affect you. It's easy to at the beginning, because you want to learn as much as you can about your disease, and the things that you read and the things that you see scare you. They do. Don't believe me, I was terrified. It's taken me, I mean, I've been